streaming ହେଲା ଠିକ୍
स्ट्रीमिंग सेटअप
ତମେ ସେଇଟା କର ଆସିବ ଦେଖ ହେଉଛି ଆଜି ଗୁରୁବାର ବାଡ଼ିକି ଆସିଛି ଆସିଲା ପଟେ କିଣିକି
ये गोटे थी ଆଉ ପଏଣ୍ଟ ତ ନାହିଁ।
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Will I start today's session?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. No problem. You can start. I share my PPT now.
One second, sir. Just we welcome our madam.
Okay, ma'am. No problem.
Good morning, everybody. I welcome you all. I welcome you all to our second day of webinar, that is renewable energy, and I request our speaker Sri Buddhadeva sir to start his presentation. Okay, sir, you can start now.
Okay, fine. Now I will share my screen. Is it okay?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
It is visible, sir.
Okay. Full screen is visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Very good morning to my colleagues and my dear friends. Myself, Buddhadev Shah, and I am a research scholar in electrical department of Shiksha Anusandhan University. I am continuing my research in electrical engineering department, and I am working on active power filter design for harmonic elimination. And today's topic is SKDAB College to give me an opportunity to present or to teach to share my knowledge with my dear juniors. And then we can start first. I will first describe some renewable energy basic topics. What is the renewable energy and why this is very much important today's life, and why we are much more focusing about the renewable energy. Application of renewable energy we are doing, that is also a major challenge for us according to our Indian scenario. Today's topic I am basically focused about how we are integrating the renewable energies and how we are benefited from that, and what is the use of the renewable energy. Then the next slide, I am giving some basic figures. Then first I am indicating that the renewable energies are different types, that is solar energy, biomass energy, wind energy, geothermal energy and hydropower energy. By combining generally these are the renewable energies we can use year by year. There is no lacking of energies. This is called as renewable energy. But however, in the traditionally we are using the non-renewable energy sector, coal and the natural gas, nuclear power. But what is the problem? Why we are going to the renewable energy? Actually, due to the excess and integration of non-linear load, means the fluctuating loads, the traditional power sectors are facing some major challenges. That is, one is power quality, major challenge, power reliability, voltage and frequency imbalance, then integration of renewable energy to the grid, and the third one is the cost and pollution. Pollution is a major factor. And if we are telling about the hybrid vehicle system, there are also we are facing some major problem, like the rise in price of fuels like petrol and diesel. We can't able to buy, poor family can't able to buy the petrol price, and they can't use the vehicles properly. Therefore, there is a need of integration of renewable energy, looking at the recent scenarios like energy demand and hybrid vehicle applications. And these figures are, I am showing some, these are the some figures these are the geothermal, the types are geothermal, wind, hydroelectric, solar and nuclear. Basically these we are using, basically one is solar, another is wind, and next one is hydroelectric. These three we are focusing more for producing the energy. In Odisha, we are most focusing about the hydroelectric power plants because we have plenty of hydro dams, or therefore we are using hydroelectric power plant more. And nowadays, Gridco is planning to install the solar energy plants in Odisha to meet the energy demand. And the next slide, I will specify some advantages and disadvantages of renewable energy. Then one should say why we are using renewable energy in the day-to-day life. Then we have to specify. I have to specify some major focuses, like renewable energy produces more clean energy, less space is needed, and renewable energy is a continuous source of energy and generate energy in a remote location. We can generate the energy from the remote location like villages or hill area. We can generate energy in any places. Therefore, this is the most advantageous to integrate and extract energy from the sources. Then by using the renewable energy, we can generate more power, and according to our demand, we can integrate additional renewable energy sectors to improve the power quality also, and power reliability operation. But however, with the advantages, we are also facing some disadvantages, and this is also we need to focus by our designing method. Why? The first factor is unreliability. Unreliability means we are generally the wind energy systems are not reliable. Means this is not a continuous source of energy sources, like solar also not a continuous source. If there is cloud present, we can generate more amount of energy. This is a major problem of renewable energy generation. Second thing is low electricity output. We can generate more output from the renewable energy sources. If we are integrating more energy devices, more power energy sources, then we can generate more energy. But there is not a there is also a big challenge to integrate more energy generation sectors. And third point is expensive. During the initial stage of integration, we are facing some more problem like cost is a major factor. No, one poor family can't integrate a larger or smaller also renewable energy generation system. This is more expensive for construction. And to protect the animals or to protect the wildlife, there is also a major problem. If we are integrating the wind power plants, then there is also a danger to the birds or wild animals. Then another next problem is noise pollution. Then noise pollution, if we are integrating the wind turbines, then it creates noise because the synchronous machine, also rotating machines are create always noise due to the excess energy demand. And if we are integrating excess power plants, then the engines create more sound, and this is also a unpleasant for our peoples, because if we are staying in a home and there is another sound is coming continuously, then it is so much irritating. Then what should we do to generate more power? We are requiring renewable energy, but there are certain limitations. To circumvent the limitations, we need to focus some control strategy or integration strategy by which we can able to produce more power. Then if we are using renewable energy for the production aspect, then also we are nowadays we are more focusing about solar and wind, specifically solar and wind, because by using our developed control strategy, it is more advantageous for the day-to-day life. And the power demand. This is I want to show. This is my ledger. I want to show this is my residential and commercial distributed generation, and this power is in between 5 to 500 kilowatt. And if you are using the 5 to 500 kilowatt, it is only used for the residential and commercial distributions, not for all the distribution. The small microgrid can say 5 to 500 kilowatt. Then if you are exceeding to 500 kilowatt to 500 megawatt, then a community scale distribution generation is possible. Means we can integrate to the grid, and grid also can supply to the home. And both the possibilities are there to generate to use the electricity. Now this is two types. After the two types, means residential and continuity scale distribution generation, the higher power demand, we can use the centralized utility scale generation. That means the power generation is exceeded to above 20 megawatt. Means the power can supply to the grid and fed to the houses purpose. Distribution sector we can use for the houses or residential purpose. We can use or load plant. Any of the load can be operated from the last one, centralized and utility scale generation. And after this, the next slide, I want to focus some energy productions states. According to 2016, Rajasthan having major capability to produce the solar, but now on date 20th October 2020, now the highest producing energy of solar system is changed to Karnataka. Karnataka is producing major solar energy production. Then we can go for the Tamil Nadu. Then Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, then Andhra. These are the major power sectors now changing according to 2020. but here I am presenting 2016. But if you are seeing now, Karnataka is the topmost generation sector, and it produces gigawatt scale of generation. Means major in between 2016 to 2020, we are producing major productions, solar energy production. Then the next graph showing about the wind energy production capability, and this is the recent graph. And according to according to this figure, in this study, Tamil Nadu generates more wind power generation than Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh. These are the proceeding way. We are producing more energy. I am now considering only about the wind power generation system here, not the other sources. Only I am focusing about the wind power generation system. And after that, this is a total overall control structure of my renewable energy based power flow study. I am showing a on-site generation system that is combination of solar and wind, and this is also combination of solar and wind. And this is the manufacturing plant, or you can say residential load of one plant is here also a residential load. This is the one possibility that one can use the power from the generation to the load. This is one possibility. One can, the generation unit, the microgrid can able to provide the power to the load first. Then this is the advanced communication system where the solar power, wind, hydropower is one possibility connected to the grid. This is a centralized grid. I previously told that previous slide I have already explained that this is a centralized grid. By making the integration of renewable energy, we can make a centralized grid. Otherwise, if there is any possibility to not to produce any energy from the renewable energy, we can use the conventional energy sectors like the traditional nuclear plants or fossil fuels we can use for the power energy generation sector. And if there is an interruption occur between the power generation of renewable energy or conventional energy, then either by using a relay or switch, we can divert the power switches, and this is the total power structure, how we can operate one grid, or how we can integrate a renewable energy to the grid. Then if this is a power structure, then what is this? Then if one should say this is a generation unit, I have the possibility of solar, wind and power plants, traditional. Then there is also a required of transmission network and distribution network by which we can transmit the power, larger amount of power through the distribution network. It can transmit to the load or home area network. So this is a traditional power sector. Then how we are making the traditional power sector becoming a smart? Because we are now belong to 2020 era, that we not only using the conventional power plants like we are waiting for a power for a larger time, and there is a power cut, we can sit. There is no other chances. We can telephone the electric department. They are saying there is a trip. You can get power for 2 days. That is not in 2020 era. Then we can develop our traditional power systems by using some smart devices. Like, what is the smart devices? Like you are using smart meters or smart power equivalence devices, means inverters, or by using your developed control strategy, means different control strategy also we are using to develop our microgrid. So therefore, I am just showing the how to communicate one power line to another power line. This is a major challenge nowadays. This is I am using communication gateway protocol. Like your mobile, there is some tower, you can telephone and one signal is going to the tower, and this is transmitted to any whom you are calling. This is the transmitted signal. This is our objective. like this objective, we are also using this and communication gateway to communicate or collecting data on in which place the power is demanded, or in which place the fault is occurred. We can set the power. We can relate all the data from my computer. This is my major objective, how we are designing a smart grid. By using this computer, we can regulate the power production, power supply, or where the power demand is more. At night time, the power demand is very less, because in village area there is no, at 10 o'clock everything is shut down, then sleep. But in urban area, night time many officers, the workers and working. Therefore, we are concentrating, majorly focusing about the power supply. With the first priority is power generation, second power is how to manage the power. This is also a major focus, because if we are not focusing about the power, only focusing about the power generation, then major power losses are occurred, because we can store. This is not a money. We can store that in your bank money, and you are gaining interest. But if one power is generated, then if you are not utilizing the power, then it can be vanished from after a certain period of time. Therefore, the power management also a major factor during the smart microgrid application. What is a smart microgrid? First, I want to say this is an ideal way to integrate all the renewable energies and allow all the customers like me, you, all the customers to participate for electricity production. Simple words I am using to elaborate the smart microgrid, by which all the individuals are participate for energy production. This is a smart microgrid concept, by which you can also benefit getting some money from the desired peoples. And if you need some power supply, then also you can buy some power. There is no power interruption occurred. But to control all the devices, we need to focus some strict rules. Like we first obey some standards, like IEEE gives us some standards like 1541, the power quality standard. Means we can if we are not maintaining the quality, nobody should buy us power. For an example, if you are going to a hotel, okay, there you should buy some foods. If the foods are very bad quality, then next time you can not go the place. This is our thinking, human tendency are there. If this is a bad product, then we should don't buy. Therefore, first the quality of power should be improved for selling or for buying. That is our major aspect. So therefore, we are focusing some major standards like harmonic standard we have to follow, because due to the excess integration of nonlinear load, one should say what is a nonlinear load? We are generally using the resistive load, inductive load. What is a nonlinear load? Why I am stressing on that is a nonlinear load. Nonlinear load, in any type of load which is operated by a switch, that is called as a nonlinear load. That you then example of nonlinear load, you can say the battery charger, also operated by a switch. And if you are telling the laptop, also operated by a switch, this is a nonlinear load. TV, fridge, these are all types of nonlinear load. What is the role of nonlinear load? We are generally usually used nonlinear load in day-to-day life. Therefore, the nonlinear load affects our general source current, means what is connected to the grid frequency, grid voltage, and the grid current are lying in a same phase. That is the phase difference between the grid voltage and grid current is 0. If I am connecting a nonlinear load, then it can inject some pulses of current because the switches are operated by on-off pulses. Therefore, it can borrow or it can draw some pulses of current by which the phase sequence of grid is changed. That can affect the power quality. If we are not getting a proper phase voltage or proper phase current, then how our load is operated or how we are handling this power. So this is totally affected our system and damage the system. Therefore, we have to control the voltage and frequency imbalance. Harmonics are produced due to the frequency imbalance, but due to the reactive power demand or reactive power, the reactive power is a non-working power, but how it is demanded? This is demanded by the magnetism circuit. Means in the circuit you are generally used a inductive load. Yes, inductive load. Inductive load creates some magnetism by using the magnetic current. Then this current causes some reactive power. Then the reactive power changes the voltage and current phase difference. Therefore, we have to control two factors. One is harmonic, the second one is reactive power. If we are controlling these two factors, then our quality is improved and reliability also improved. No one can even check how much, what quality of power you are producing. These are the major factors. Then the next slide. Here I am explaining what are the generally solar or DC power generation. And converters, what is the role of converter? Converter is used to convert the power like buck converter means DC to DC converter. These are okay. The generation, if the generation is DC, then we are generally used for the converter requirement. Then the converters are the major factor to improve the power quality. There are two types of converter. Specifically, one is unidirectional converter and another one is bidirectional converter. What is a unidirectional converter? If you are, these are the same types. Unidirectional converter also same factors like buck converter, boost converter, buck boost converter, multi-level converter, and bidirectional converter also same. Then what is the difference? Why I am specifically differentiate between unidirectional and bidirectional? One should say unidirectional converters are the current should flow in a single path. There is no recurrence of current occurred. That is a unidirectional devices like thyristor. We are designing the converter by using a thyristor. That is a unidirectional converter. Means the current should pass in a unidirectional path. There is no previous paths are following. Or no, what is a bidirectional converter? Generally, a bidirectional converter means if the current is flowing through this way, straight line, upward to downward, and if there is any problem occur or any fault condition with the switch is failure, the current, the reverse part is also possible. What is the example? First, I am telling. The examples are IGBT, insulated gate bipolar transistor. These are connected of we are just connected a thyristor and anti-parallel diode. Let's say IGBT. It's just simple. Also, you are studied in your syllabus that part. But only we are studying that this is a part. But how many of you, by taking the IGBTs, you are designing a inverter or converter? This is the new era of research. We are using the bidirectional converter nowadays to improve our power quality. And everybody should, I think, should know buck converter, boost converter, and buck boost converter. But nobody, I think in diploma, nobody can know about multi-level converter, I think. But if you are know, then it's good. But if you are not know, I will elaborate here in this seminar. Then what are the major factors? Because if I am telling one converter is very good, or bidirectional converter generally we are using for renewable energy integration, then how one can trust upon me? Anybody can trust upon me, because this is we are using what is the major factors to select a converter. Then the major factors are first of all, we improve the power factor. If we are improving the power factor of what? Power factor of my converter. What? And THD. If I am able to regulate the total harmonic distortion, means how much of distortion current present in my circuit, if I am detecting that, or if I am able to know about the distorted current, then one should select the converter properly. Then type of what are the type of output DC of voltage. Then one should know about we are getting the constant voltage or variable voltage. If you are maintaining the voltage levels, like if you are maintaining the voltage levels, maintain a voltage levels by changing the frequencies, then it is also a major factor. Then power flow. I have already told that unidirectional switches we are using and bidirectional switches we are using. Then the quadrant of operation. There are only 4 quadrants of operation, 1, 2, 3 and 4. The nature of output DC is isolated and non-isolated. Then the requirement of output DC, because if we are improving the voltage, then we are using the boost converter. If we are increasing the voltage levels, then we are using simply the buck converter. Then what is the use of buck boost converter in my circuit? Buck boost converter is required to charge a battery, because if we are producing more energies, then there is a necessity of a charge battery to store the energy. Therefore, the battery, how battery will operate? How battery will operate? Because the battery can store a charge according to their limit. We can't battery charge for a longer time. The battery cannot charge it for a longer time. Then the buck boost converter is used for to charging the battery or discharging the battery. This is also a major factor, requirement of output DC. Then required level of power quality in output. Then how we are getting a required level of power quality in my output. One is I have to focus about what the ripples present in the voltage. Means if their production, we are producing more ripple voltage or more pulsating DC voltage, I can't use this, because the pulsating DC is not a perfect DC. Always the load operated at a perfect DC, constant DC. Then we have to focus a major factor, that is voltage ripple. And the another factor is share and swell component also. If I am generating a voltage of 5 volt, but I am requiring the 5 volt, but when it is coming to my load, it is decreased to a lesser value. This is also a major problem. We have to share, or we have to consider the shag and swell component to maintain our power quality. Then the next factor is cost, size, weight and efficiency. Then if we are designing this type of converter, then the major factors, we are also bothered about our cost, because everything we related to our cost. We can't buy a higher budget converter. Therefore, the size of the converter, we are more conscious about the size. And if it is lesser weight, then it is also easy to carry from here to there, and the cost. These three factors is very much important for the design of a converter. Then efficiency. If I am designing a converter, this is a very good cost and size and weight, then the efficiency, this is not producing a actual amount of voltage, or the efficiency level is very low, then one can buy. This is also an important factor to consider or to design a converter. Then noise level. Previously I already told that any switching device creates some noise or electromagnetic induction circuit because it produces some noise. This is also one consider and rating reliability and environment. If I am designing a system, it is reliable for every position, means it can be reliable at every environmental situation. Not only working in a room temperature, only working for any altitude, pollution level, humidity, and types of different operations are also capable. This is the factors what is used to design a converter. Then I first told about some basic converter topologies. How I am. This is a simple converter. I am just using a DC source and I am using a switch and it is connected to a resistive load. Simple circuit. My source is here. This is my source and this is my load. But what I am doing, I am just operating the switch to head the load and switch up to stop the load. Then how the challenge is how I am controlling the switch. By using some pulses, means this for this time to this time the switch is on, this time the switch is off. By using this on off period, you can control the switches. There is two possibility only, one is on and one is off. Therefore, in this graph, one should see this is my on cycle, means when my switch is on, the total amount of the 10 volt current is connected to the 5 ohm load and the load is activated. If my T is off means the switch is off, means the off means this is open path, the total there is no connection, means the total voltage is dropped down to 0. Then what I am getting, if I am using a continuous supply, by using the switching devices, we make it discontinuous for a certain time interval. If I am calculating this is my input voltage, 10 volt, this is my input voltage. If I am giving a switching pulse like this, then what is my aim? To generate some pulsating DC output voltage. The pulsating DC output voltage either it get 10 volt according to our requirement. If my load is requiring less voltage, then it is also okay to give the less voltage. If my load is requiring more voltage, then it is okay to give the more voltage. This is my total condition to operate a converter first. Then mathematically how we are proving that? Then here V output generally I am saying that V output is this 5 ohm resistor. This is my V output. This is a plus sign, this is a minus sign. Then one can say this is a plus sign, this is minus sign, and one can say the difference between this to this is a V output. And why I am doing like this? V output always the average voltage. Okay. How to compute the average voltage? Any fixed voltage. How I am computing average? By dividing by its time period. How much time it will on and how much time it will off. Therefore, by using a integration, by using a integration symbol here, 0 to total time. That means 0 to total time means T on and T off. Both are combiningly I am developing this model. that is V input is your 10 volt. This is a dt with respect to time. Therefore, a integration symbol I am using. But this is my V output is equal to 1 by T, the total time divided by 0 to T on. Means this period. 0, this is 0, this is my T on. This cycle. This is my, okay, this is my 0 to T on. Then this is your V input. Here we are seeing the graphical presentation, the V input is 10 volt. But this cycle only we are considering here, but this cycle T on to T off, there the voltage level is 0. That means the total term is 0. Okay. Then what is V output? Then V output is equal to total input voltage divided by integration means dt. dt the integration is how much? 1 by T, or sorry, dt the integration T means T on. Total T on I am considering here T on minus 0. This is T on by T, means the V output is equal to the on time divided by the total time. This is called our duty ratio, D, by which we can control the output voltage. This is my N, by which you can control the output ratio. This is the simple mathematical derivation of a basics of a converter. Then the next slide where I am focusing about buck boost converter. Then everybody know what is a buck boost converter, and buck converter generally the step down the voltage, and boost converter generally used for the step up the DC voltage. Same input voltage I am considering here 10 volt, and this is your NPN transistor. We can use any switches transistor. You can use a MOSFET, BJT, IGBT, anything, any type of switches you can use in this place. This switch operated as per my pulses generation. This is my pulses. To on up push, every switch have to on up, we give some pulse. Means this time this is on, this time this is off. We need to focus this area first. Then the diagram is this. This is a connection of my BJT, IGBT, any transistor, and this is my diode, and this is my inductor, this is capacitor, and this is resistor. And these factors generally a simple buck converter I am designing, and the boost converter similarly we are designing this. What is the aim? To step down the voltage. Step down means the DC voltage is decreased. Now like this. This is my 10 volt, total 10 volt. When the output voltage in the R side, we are getting the decreased voltage. This is the converter is used to decrease the voltage from 10 volt to the design level. Design level. What amount I have required, I can get from the buck converter. Similarly, the boost converter, we can improve the voltage level. Then this is my buck boost converter. Buck boost converter, previously I have already told that buck boost converter generally we usually preferable more because due to its advantages, because it can be operated both ways. Means if you have a power demand, it can increase the power. If you have a lesser power demand, it can also decrease the power. But we have to use this one according to your developed pulses generation. The sentences are, you just focus here. Buck boost converters make possible to efficiently convert a DC voltage either low or high voltage. Already I have told that. It is useful for PV maximum power point tracking. I am also explaining that one later. It can be obtained by cascade connection of buck boost converter by combining the buck converter and boost converter. This is a simpler design which developed to improve the to get the desired voltage levels. Okay, and this is our voltage output formula, duty ratio. I have already explained one duty ratio. Similarly, all the converters duty ratio as computed. But for an example, I have also here I want to show first this is my on state. If this is a switch, if this is a on, okay, T on is here, on state. On state means the switch is closed and the total voltage is passed to energize the inductor. If my inductor is energized, then this diode is reverse bias. This is a unidirectional device. That means the circuit is off. Here is off, but here is off also. But the total inductor energy is transmitted to the capacitor to store the energy, because capacitor is a storing device and fed the load. But however, in off state condition, the switch is generally off, means the switch is open, the source voltage is not transmitted to the load, but amount of energy is absorbed by the capacitor, that amount of energy is transmitted through this to energize the inductor and also the capacitor. This is a continuous process. If you are closed cycle loop, this is a continuous process to operate the load. It means both the way we can operate the load according to our demand. Okay, and just see, this is some examples of buck converter. Unidirectional buck converter are there. Means simply I am using the transistor, NPN or PNP transistors are there, and by using this unidirectional buck converter is designed. But however, this design is a bidirectional buck converter. That means this is a IGBT. Here I am connecting, if I am connecting a anti-parallel diode, means that means this one. If I am connecting this, means if the current is flowing this direction, then this is okay. This is off, because this is a diode. Diode means unidirectional switch. But however, if the current flow direction is like this, then the diode is on, means this switch is totally operated as per my requirement. So bidirectional converter are more advantageous than unidirectional converter. Okay. Then boost converter, similar principles are there. You see here, this is a IGBT, but here we are generally using the unidirectional device like diode. Okay, but this is a IGBT. This is the difference between unidirectional and bidirectional devices. Similarly, the buck boost converter also designed like this way. Okay, and then I previously told that I will explain about multi-level inverter and what is the role of multi-level inverter. Then first I just distinguish between simple converter, a traditional converter, and multi-level converter. First I am differentiating between unidirectional simple converter and multi-level converter. Simple converter generally generate a voltage only from 0 to start. This is an amplitude of voltage VDC, then decrease to 0, then minus VDC and 0. But in multi-level inverter, we can generate more level of voltages, like DC voltages, different level of DC voltages. Like we are generally simple inverter, we are getting only one VDC. But in multi-level inverter, we are getting different voltages like 0, VDC by 3, 2 VDC by 3, 3 VDC by 3, 4 VDC by 3. Likewise, there is a step wave voltage waveform we can generate from the multi-level inverter. And what is the reason why we are using why we are generating a multi-level voltage? Because when I am viewing here, you just see here, if I am getting, this is my 0, this is SC, okay. Just this is my DC, 0 VDC, okay. This is my VDC and this is my minus VDC, okay. This is my plus VDC and this is my minus VDC. The error between plus VDC and minus VDC is very high. If I am getting like in multi-level inverter, if I am getting a step waveform like this, okay, this is 0, this is VDC and this is positive VDC and this is minus VDC, okay, highest point. The error between this voltage, this amount of voltage and this amount of voltage, this voltage level and this voltage level is very less as compared to the traditional voltage level. That's why using the voltage error and improves the power quality. Simple. Okay. Therefore, I am using some multi-level inverter concept here to improve my renewable energy performances. How I am improving my major focus is to improve the performance of a renewable energy based microgrid system. Then this is a focus area, multi-level inverter. Then I come to the general systems like solar power sectors. In India, we are now majorly focused on the solar power because wind power is not available in even places. Odisha also has a capability to produce wind power, but many of the places are the visitors used for the visitors. We can't integrate the wind power plants there because all of the birds and the peoples are going to the visitors are going to the. We can't use the wind energy system in Odisha. Maximum amount of production we can't use, but solar we can use. Then comes to mind, there are two factors are considered. One is on grid and off grid. On grid means the connection between your generation and grid is open. That means if you are desire power from the grid, you can buy. If you are send power to the grid, you can send. According to your get payment for the government. Payment by the government or payment to the government. Both way possible. This is a on grid. But off grid, you can just use a inverter and generate power. You can store that one. If that is used for your load purpose. If you are not sharing with the grid, then if today you have no demand, then battery also discharge continuously because every particle has discharged some energy. Battery also has some discharging some energy. How much amount? For an example, if you are generating 5 kilowatt power in one day and you store that one, but if you are not using the 5 kilowatt, it is discharged. That means the losses are very much higher and we generate power, but we cannot use it properly. This is also a major challenge in solar power sector. We have to focus now. Then already I have explained about the off-grid and on-grid. Then here just I briefly explained grid connected PV. Then it is maybe a large scale production. If this is a grid connected PV, if you require, you can use a battery for a safety region, or you cannot require because there is no necessity, because when your power is absent or your system is not producing such amount of power, then you can go to the grid and just switch over the switch and you can borrow the power from the government. There is no problem. If you are using the battery, if there is a huge power demand of the grid is transmitted to the plant or any other sector, then grid cannot supply you power. But during that period, your battery is operated. That is also a smart grid concept. By using the battery, you can handle your power requirement, by which one can use or one can just operate your motor or bathroom or ceiling fans. You can use. This is a grid connector. Off grid, already I have explained off grid. This is generally used for your household purpose. But what is hybrid PV system? One should say, if I am using a PV, solar PV, then how I make the system hybrid? By using, if you are capable to integrate some wind generators, then by combining the sources, you can generate some hybrid system. But solar generate DC power, but wind generate AC power. Then how you are controlling, this is also a major focus. To operate the solar power, we are generally require converters. But when a wind power is generated, then it is a AC. To transmit AC means AC. If you are transmit AC, then you are getting more losses. If you are converting to the DC, AC to DC, then you reduces these losses, and DC power, there is no phase interruption occur. You can generate more power, you can getting more power. And this is a simple PV based utilities like load side, the street lamps, solar mobile charger. You can just put your mobile in the solar charger, then you can charge your mobile phone. This is one possibility. Other possibilities are also nowadays many people are using the charger to generate from the water. This is also a possibility. So many factors are renewable energy can integrate anywhere and any places. There is no circumstances. If you are going to any hilly area, then you can generate from the wind turbines. Small ventilation wind turbine ventilator wind turbine are available. You can generate from this also. Then next. Then if I am developing lot of things like converter and generated more power and regulate the power by using the converter, then what is a use of charge control? How I am controlling a charge of a battery? Because if you are, every device has certain limitation. If I am giving a food, for an example, if I am giving a food to eat, you eat a food for a certain time, for certain if you desire the food for a certain period. If I am giving food continuously, you cannot eat continuously the food. This is overloaded conditions. Therefore, to avoid the overloaded or underloaded condition, we are using a charge controller. Generally, charge controllers are also the buck boost converters are used to develop a charge controller. Then, if I am increasing my battery life cycle, then also we need to integrate a charge controller. Okay. Then by which we can maintain under voltage and over voltage. Means always the battery have, this is a battery. Okay. This is a battery and it has the capability below is 0 and this is a full capability. Okay, 100% battery full. This is my total 100% battery full. But we have to fix some certain limit. This is your V maximum limit and this is my V minimum. In between this, we always maintain the voltage levels by which the battery can improve its life cycle. Okay, this is also a condition. Then I am coming to our generation part, like solar. solar system, solar cell. How I am designing a solar cell? This is nothing a big deal because nowadays if we are able to track the heat or the solar photo current, and if we are solar photo current, if we are able to track, then the current is transmitted to the diode and we can generate the voltage, open circuit voltage VBB or IBB, open circuit current. We can generate both of these. Okay. By using this formula, this is my IB, this is my I photo current coming from the solar sunlight. Okay. Then this is my diode current. Okay. And this is your parallel RP and RS. This is a parallel connection occurred between this. Then this is your current IP, the parallel current. By using this formula, you can get it. Then IPH is your photo current. I0 is your reverse saturation current, and it is totally depend upon the diode selection. Total depend what amount of diode you are choosing. That is the totally depend upon the diode rating. Okay. Alpha also diode identity factor. When you are buying a diode, there is some specifications are there. This is my series resistance according to my requirement, according to my voltage production. Or current solar voltage production, this series resistance and series parallel resistance is decided. A number of cells means I have explained later. Then what is a number of cells? And this is the rating. Boltzmann constant we always know. And the temperature is always in between 25 to 45 degree. 25 to 45 degree. Okay. 25 to 45 degree. These are the some factors. By using this, we are developing a solar cell. Then what is the problem during the development of a solar cell? Generally, in the previous slide, I have explained we are using a single diode model. Then what is the problem? In single diode model, there is a major problem occur in recombination. Means there is two bands. One is your CB and one is your BB. These are two bands. One band to another band, if one energy is flowed, then conduction band to valence band. Okay. Conduction band to valence band, and this one band to another band, we need some energy to move an electron from one band to another band. If we have not sufficient amount of energy, then the electron can't be transferred. This is a major problem occurred in the single diode model. Therefore, we are going to double diode model. Here we are using two diodes for energy production. Two diodes. That means the amount of energy the electron from a conduction band to valence band is enough. Therefore, we are using the double diode model, and the formula is same. I am just adding another diode. It is not a matter. You are using this. Then, which factors we are focusing more about? The solar array. That is open circuit voltage. This is the maximum voltage that the array provides when the terminal are not connected to any load. If this is a diode model, we are connected no load, then the amount of voltage the solar cell is producing, that is called as a open circuit voltage, and every solar panel have a open circuit voltage, constant open circuit voltage. Every solar designers have designed the solar panels according to the open circuit voltage, and this is also a short circuit current. Short circuit current, the maximum current provided by the PV array when the output connectors are short together. If I just omit the load part, I just short the output connection, that is called a short circuit current. This value is much higher than IMPP, which relates the normal operating circuits. Always the short circuit current is greater than IMPP. IMPP is your maximum power point current. That means the solar is operated at maximum power, maximum of irradiance, which coming from the sunlight. Sunlight is absorbed per unit area, that is called as a IMPP. IMPP always achieved at 1000 irradiance. This is a fixed or approved limit by which one should get the maximum power point condition. Then maximum condition. Maximum power point condition. What is maximum power? This relates to the point where the power supplied by the array that is connected to the load is at the power supply is connected to the load, that is maximum value, and the maximum amount of power is produced, that is called a maximum power by MPP and IMPP. And this is also a field factor. Then percentage of efficiency. I just forward these slides, and just this is photovoltaic panel. How we are, what is the parameters we are requiring to design a solar system connection? That is a solar cell. Already I have explained the single diode or two diode model. By combining the different solar cells, we just make a solar module. After combination of, after designing the solar module, by combining a series parallel model, then solar panel becomes the solar panel is designed. Then by combining the solar panel, we can, this is a improving path, means we can generate or enhancing our voltage levels. Okay. Then the major factors are electricity meter, AC isolator, fuse boxes, inverter, battery, heating meter, DC isolator, cabling, mounting, and tracking system. These are some factors which are used to design a solar microgrid system. Here I want to giving an example after gaining that much knowledge. One simple example I just want to give you, and how I design a system in your MATLAB and how I am regulating the parameter. Okay, this is here my objective is to design. I have already told that I am designing a nonlinear system, nonlinear load, and controller. How I am designing. Here I want to show you. This is my design parameters. How I am designing through MATLAB. This one. This is a active filter. Here active filter means what? This is a conventional voltage source inverter. Okay. This is my grid, and I am just connecting a inductive filter to reduce the reactive power component here. And parameter, just I am connecting a 3-phase by which I am getting and grid current. Okay. Then here I am designing two nonlinear load 1 and nonlinear load 2. Then nonlinear load, how? This is a inductive load. That means I am controlling the load by and connecting the load to the 3-phase, means the 3, similarly 3-phase source load measurement block is also measuring the load, total load voltage and total load current. Okay. Then by using the delta transformer, I just connected a nonlinear load to the grid directly. And here by nonlinear load 2, I am just connecting a delta star transformer to connect it to the grid. What is the problem? Generally grids generate a sinusoidal voltage and current. Okay. This is my grid voltage and current. But the nonlinear load generates some distorted current, like this exactly. Okay. That means it affects the quality of the grid voltage and power. So what should I do? How? Because the nonlinear load examples are already I have given. That is laptop charger, mobile charger, fridge, TV. These are the nonlinear load examples. How I am controlling the power quality. That means if this is the harmonic amount I am generating, this is harmonic load current and it draws some pulsating load current, then how I am controlling this parameter? By using a active filter. What is active filter? Active filter DC simple. voltage source inverter. Here I am just using a capacitor. You can also using here a renewable energy sources like solar, wind, anything you can use here. Okay. That means the amount of power produced by the shunt active filter is used to oppose the nonlinear load by which the total parameters are in stable condition and the power quality is maintained. Then how I am able to design this parameter? Then by using this control strategy, what I am able to design by using the source current, grid current, and another factor is the fundamental means load current. By using the source current, grid current, and load current. Grid current always contains fundamental frequency, but load current, if there is a harmonic present, that means it contains both fundamental and harmonic frequency. What is harmonic? Harmonic is the multiple of frequency. If I am telling that the third harmonic system, that is means 3 into 50, means the harmonic is 150 hertz, containing harmonic is 150 hertz. This is my harmonic component. By using my control strategy, I control the load factors, load harmonic factors, and getting the appropriate current what I want to design. This is my overall control strategy by which I am generating the pulses of what? Converter or inverter to improve the power quality. And this is a optimization technique I have used, and the optimization technique why I am to compute the filter parameters, the inductor value, how much the inductor value is that, how the resistor value is, how much the resistor value, and what is the DC link voltage. Okay, these values I need to compute or extract from this strategy. Okay, and this is a comparative result what I am getting from the MATLAB and this is a MATLAB output waveform. It is here you see the conventional approach. It contains more harmonics, means the colors are so deep, but in proposed approach the colors are so light. That is called as my system operates very efficiently and I am able to produce improved power quality. And this is a harmonic analysis, means nonlinear load generally contains more harmonics. That is total harmonic distortion is 5, 21, 32, maybe increased. Okay, but by using the conventional system, these are the harmonic levels like 7, 7.13, 10.63 and 5.82. These are the harmonic levels. But my proposed approach, the harmonic levels is decreased to a very lesser value. Very lesser value, that is 1.66, 1.42 and 1.150. It's a lesser value and well within the IEEE standard. Okay. Then this is a comparative study and this is clearly shows that my performances is improved to a very high value, that is 92.60%. I have improved my system performances by using my developed control strategy. Okay, this is a conclusion of future scope. Just you leave it and just simply I just show a one figure here. What is this? Just I am designing a wind. This is a wind turbine or wind generation system, and I am connected to the grid. That means how much of the amount is generated from the wind directly connected to the grid. Okay, and through grid a nonlinear load is connected to the grid to consume the power. Similar, but here I am designing some control strategy by which I am regulating the harmonic component and the grid voltage or power or frequency is balanced, always balanced. And how much I improve the percentage, this is also a challenging factor for me because I am a designer. When I am designing from MATLAB, that means we are facing some major problems, like we are considering some major problems like harmonic, frequency, multiple input parameters like the wind power is not a constant power source. Always not, you are not getting a wind. to control, I am using some maximum power point by which I am always at every situation, at all the situations, we are getting maximum power from the turbine. How much amount of power is needed from the wind turbine, that much I am getting. This is my one figure I am showing here, and here you also see that this is a inverter I have designed, 31 level inverter. That means I am just showing here the inverter voltage levels at 31 level voltage I am getting here. Means this is looking like a continuous cycle, and this is looking like a sinusoidal, pure sine wave, and the error between the voltage terminals are reduced very much. This is why I developed at one level inverter requirement, and this is one example how I am combining or how I am designing a hybrid microgrid. Okay, then one should say how I am make the system hybrid. Okay, then one should say I just combine the solar, wind, battery in the source side, then I will make it a hybrid system. Yes, but in what I want to tell that any sources, any type of renewable sources you can integrate to generate power and make the system hybrid. What is new? Then I think that if I make two grid, you always listen about the AC grid. If I will make a DC grid, then direct DC load is fed like electric vehicle, hybrid vehicle. Okay, by charging from the DC grid, it is fed, and by your AC loads also fed from the AC grid. There is no conversion or there is no charger is required. Charging devices are required to charge. That means by using this type of concept, I improve my total grid performances or reduces the cost or reduces the size. Okay. Then after that, I just show a vehicle. How this is my design one. How I am designing a vehicle. Okay, and how I am controlling means vehicle. When you drive a vehicle, it strongly focuses some major factors like first point is road condition. If your road is slippery condition, you need to develop a very good braking position or very good tiring or slip conditions by which one can drive the vehicle. Okay, so one can drive the vehicle safely, and the stability. You just see one bike. I am just comparing a simple example. One, you are using one Splendor, okay, and you are using a CBJ. Then which is more stable? Obviously CBJ. What is the difference? They are designing the vehicle to improve the stability, means the slippery road condition, the wheels of the tire is balancing in that way that it can adjust and it regulates the slips. That way it can balance the vehicle position and save the driver. That I am using here in the electric vehicle conditions by using the absorbing the, this is my battery, okay, this is my battery, and by using appropriate voltage levels or appropriate current from the system, we can able to control the vehicles. I am just using one inverter and second inverter. One inverter is used to the front end tire, left tire, and this is right end tire, another inverter. By using two types of inverter, I am just regulating the front, and by using a base barrier, I am controlling the base. That is my mechanism. I am designing my car, and I want to implement. I don't show here the result, but I already developed that. But the hardware models are not developed due to the cost factor funding. But I have already developed to the MATLAB, and I am getting better results. there is also another possibility to consider all the mechanical parameters. I agree for that. But by using my proposed strategy, already I have developed a model by which we can improve the stability of the vehicle. And another case, how we are improving how if I am using a battery, how I am using a renewable energy in the vehicle model development. We can make total the upper portion, the chassis portion, the solar panels. That means solar panel, when the vehicle is going on, then the solar panel is continuously absorbing the power from the solar and it can be operated. But during the night condition, the battery is operated. Then in which place the battery is used to place to improve the vehicle stability? You should place the battery at the below position, because battery not a lesser weight. Battery, I am not telling that this battery is from milligram, gram. No, this battery is in kilogram, or very larger size battery. So if we are placing the battery in a platform, then in the slippery road condition, the vehicle is, if the weight of the vehicle is very high, then slippery condition, this is working smoothly. This is some topologies we need to consider for the development, and later on I am producing some papers and following some papers from the I just present here in references, and this is my PhD work and focusing about the electrical energy, power electronics drive. Okay, and thank you. Hello, thank you. If you have any questions, please ask. No problem.
Students, if do you have any questions, please write or ask. If you want to write it, please use chat box. Yes, students. I think nobody have doubt. Sir has explained it so nicely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
If ma'am, one thing,
Yes,
if anybody want any type of MATLAB program help or MATLAB how to do MATLAB, you can call me or you can contact me through my mail. Okay,
Definitely,
there is
sir.
no problem. Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
You have elaborately discussed about different points like advantages and disadvantages of renewable energy, power flow study, power quality standard, type of loads, on-grid and off-grid, power generation, type of converter, and thank you for sharing your valuable time to impart knowledge regarding different aspects of renewable energy to the participants. At last, I also thankful to all participants for your patient listening. Thank you. Thank you to all. Thank you, sir, once again.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
So much.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am and sir both.
Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
You can say what doubt.
Anchala, you have.
You can ask.
Yes, Anchala Kumar, say your doubt.
No, ma'am. No doubt.
Sir,
Yes. If anybody want to ask anything, then please ask.
The site is
Nobody.
The site is open for half an hour to fill up feedback form. Students, in between this duration, if you have the doubt, please ask it or write it in the chat box. नीतीश कुमार.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
In final year, you may do a project on solar system. So, do you have any doubt on the solar system or hybrid system on grid, off grid? କିଛି doubt
No,
ଅଛି କି?
ma'am. No, ma'am. I have no doubt, but
बट कौन कह जदि किसी डाउट अच्छी फ्रांकली कह से सार ओडिया भी जानते ओडिया भी तुम